Of San Diego's most infamous cases is back in the spotlight this morning, 11 years later. Thanks for being here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connard.
And I'm Nada Irampour. We're talking about Rebecca Zahau. Well, she was found dead at the Spreckles mansion in Coronado back in 2011. Her family maintains that it was not a suicide.
CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is live outside the Sheriff's Department with the latest on this. Good morning.
Good morning, Eric and Netta. Well, later today, we will be hearing from the Zahau family and their attorney. They're petitioning to change her cause of death from suicide to a homicide or even undetermined. Now, after the death of Rebecca Zahau, her family sued Adam Shacknai for wrongful death. And in 2018, a civil jury in San Diego found Shacknai responsible for Zahau's death. Now, despite the verdict, then Sheriff Bill Gore refused to open the criminal investigation, still insisting it was a suicide. Now, the medical examiner also refused to change Zahau's cause of death from suicide to homicide or even inconclusive on her death certificate. Today, the Zahau family, they're speaking out. Their attorney, Keith Greer, will host a press conference where he will use rope and the life-size replica of Rebecca's body to show how Adam Shacknai's testimony at the civil trial establishes beyond a reasonable doubt that he was lying. Mr. Greer says he will also discuss the facts revealed in the recently dismissed lawsuit against Sheriff Gore, showing that the San Diego Police Department lied to the Zahau family. This press conference will be held at 10 a.m. this morning. Of course, we will be there bringing you the latest as this is a developing case. I'm Dana Marie McNichol coming to you live from the Sheriff's Department.
Dana Marie, thank you. This morning, the search continues for a driver who shot and killed another driver in broad daylight and then drove away. It happened yesterday in Chula Vista near Broadway and E Street just before 10 a.m. It's still unclear if the suspect and the victim knew each other or if this was some sort of a random road rage. Witnesses told police both drivers pulled over, got out, approached each other, and then the gunfire erupted. One man was shot multiple times. The shooter took off toward the 5 freeway just a block away. Police say the victim is a 38-year-old man from the South Bay. The suspect's car, described as a silver or gray 4-door sedan, possibly a Nissan. If you have any information, you're asked to call police. This morning, a doctor is facing criminal charges in a woman's death at the Las Colinas detention facility. Dr. Federique von Lintig was charged with involuntary manslaughter. The same charge was brought against nurse Danielle Pascua last year. Pascua was expected to be in court today, but that will now be postponed to coincide with the doctor's hearing in March. The inmate, Elisa Serna, died in November of 2019. Serna's family was given access to video of her death. They say she hit her head on the wall and floor, and no one did anything to help.
I was very angry, upset, because you gotta just be heartless to treat somebody so disgusting like that.
Yeah, family also telling us she was pregnant at the time. There have been 19 in-custody deaths so far this year, passing last year's record number of 18. This morning, officials in National City are addressing pedestrian safety. This comes after families expressed concerns about a dangerous intersection.
And we have been working for you on this issue, trying to protect a lot of these students who are walking to class. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in National City to explain what may be happening there now today. Good morning, Chris.
Yeah, good morning. So happening in a matter of hours, we're actually going to be hearing from the mayor of National City as well as the chief of police and other stakeholders here at this intersection of 24th and Highland, talking about safety for pedestrians and cyclists across National City. It's something that they're worried about, especially after we've been working for you to highlight a specific problem area that is near Olivewood Elementary, and that was brought to us by a number of parents. Now, of course, that is over on 24th and F Street, but what they say that is going on there is, again, at a dangerous scene. The parents, students, and teachers tell us that dozens of drivers are speeding daily, running through red lights and even stop signs. In fact, we saw that happen with our very own cameras that were there interviewing parents, seeing, again, a car speed through in an intersection. Now, a mother told us that there are no working street lights in the dark and that stop signs and crosswalks are in need of an upgrade. According to city records, the streets infrastructure has not been updated since 2018. Parents have suggested that the city place speed bumps to slow cars down. But ultimately, they believe action needs to be taken sooner rather than later. Now, we spoke with the mayor, and she told us that they're really trying to, again, focus in on pedestrian and cyclist safety with an ongoing campaign called Vision Zero, which aims to eliminate all traffic deaths and serious injuries across National City.
I think there's definitely ways with which, whether it be a walk audit, getting the community out, identifying issues.
And what they're going to be doing this morning, again, is talking about Vision Zero, the need for higher safety awareness, as well as other techniques to keep people safe when they're either walking or cycling throughout National City. But then they'll also be doing, again, as a community engagement event, showing a movie that talks about cyclists and riding and things like that, while also doing a bike giveaway, again, trying to engage the community, trying to make sure they get as many people to attend an event later on this afternoon that will hopefully, again, change some behaviors and some attitudes towards safety on the streets. Eric and Netta.
All right, something we will follow. Thank you very much, Chris Groh. A hearing will be held this morning regarding an odor in Barrio Logan that many residents say is making them sick. So it's coming from a company called New Leaf, which turns used cooking oil from restaurants into biodiesel fuel. Neighbors say the smell is so bad that it causes headaches, even vomiting. The San Diego County Air Pollution Control District will discuss this issue today. They're expected to give the company a deadline to install an odor control system. That deadline, though, is December 9th. Community members say they're frustrated that this isn't going to be resolved quicker.
A biodiesel production plant right next to single-family homes, right next to senior housing community, would not happen in Coronado or in other communities along San Diego Bay.
Now, the Environmental Health Coalition, who you just heard from, says Barrio Logan has some of the worst air quality in the state of California. According to a recent analysis, asthma rates are more than double compared to the city's overall average rate. A big change could be coming for restaurants in the city of San Diego. Today, the City Council's Environment Committee will discuss a single-use plastic reduction ordinance. So that would ban styrofoam food packaging, all this stuff you see. It was already approved by City Council in 2019, but they put a pause on it to conduct an environmental impact report. The Environment Committee has to approve it before it goes back to the full City Council.
And this just in here, some good news for our economy. According to new numbers from the Commerce Department, the U.S. economy grew at 2.6% annual rate from July through September. This comes after 2 quarters of economic contractions. The economy grew even among high inflation and interest rates, and those rates could go even higher when the Federal Reserve meets next week. Checking with Evan now on our forecast here. How's it looking out there to start off our Thursday?
It's still dark. Haven't you noticed just how much later these sunrises are coming? It's 6:08 a.m. and we're looking live outside. Not even a glimmer of light peeking through yet. That's because that sunrise isn't coming to us until the 7 o'clock hour. So just about an hour that we have to wait before we see that sun coming through. Temperatures by the afternoon are going to be peaking in the upper 60s along the coastline, mid 70s inland. We are around average, but in most cases just slightly below it. So afternoon highs will peak probably about 3, maybe 4 degrees cooler than average. Partially thanks to these offshore winds. What these offshore winds, though, have done, it's mainly just kind of broken apart the overcast skies along the coastline. They're not all that strong. When we see those strong Santa Anas come into play, we tend to see that marine layer pull back quite a bit. Instead, we are waking up to partly cloudy conditions for much of the coastline. Inland, broken clouds out there. By the afternoon, we'll have a lot of sunshine. It's been a quiet week so far. We expect to hang on to those quiet conditions into the rest of it, your weekend, even early next week. So looking at your next 12 hours, the clouds that we do have are going to break apart between now and about 10, 11 a.m. We've got sunshine by the afternoon, temperatures peaking in the low 70s along the coastline. Inland, we're going to peak in about the mid 70s or so. Let's take a look at how traffic is shaping up so far this morning. Things have been very quiet on the roads. You should be able to head out of your normal commute. Not a lot of trouble out there, and no low clouds or fog that we're working with. Those clouds are actually quite high up in the sky, so shouldn't see limited visibility to kick off the morning. Temperatures in the low 60s, upper 50s as you head inland. CBS8.com/weather has the latest in your forecast, and CBS8.com/traffic has all you need to know about that morning commute. Back to you.